we do have the greatest job in the world.
Finally, the mega event UFC 300 was held. It was an event eagerly awaited by hardcore MMA fans worldwide. Not only did it feature the championship fights in the main event between Alex Pereira and Jamahal Hill, but the event also brought together 12 UFC champions. These are the best fighters who have truly proven themselves. All matches showcased highly interesting matchups from the preliminaries to the main event. Moreover, performance bonuses were raised by Dana White for this special event. Instead of the usual $50,000, the bonus was increased to $300,000, a six-fold increase.
300! 300, it's done! Let's go! Let's go!
Even just a $50,000 bonus could push fighters to deliver their best performance. So imagine what a $300,000 bonus could do. It certainly drove the fighters to go all out in pursuit of a bonus that could potentially exceed the paychecks of some fighters. And indeed, the fighters went wild, delivering their best performances. Let's recap the exciting matches at UFC 300. Starting with former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling, who made his featherweight debut against Calvin Kattar after losing his title. In the first round, Aljo quickly took down Kattar and rendered him helpless. Likewise, in the second round, he dominated and wore out Kattar. In the third round, Aljo was even more dominant and nearly finished him. But Calvin Kattar managed to survive until the end. Aljo won by unanimous decision in his featherweight debut. With his elite grappling skills, it seems Aljo will pose a new challenge for the top fighters in this division. Next up was former light heavyweight champion, the Samurai Jiří Procházka versus Alexander Rakic. In the first round, Rakic was truly dominant. He destroyed Procházka's leg and pummeled him with dozens of punches and kicks. Jiří couldn't effectively counterattack until the end of the round when he landed a huge punch. The second round began, and the fight got crazier and intense. Jiří Procházka fought relentlessly to KO Rakic. He disregarded how many punches Rakic threw at him. Jiří kept advancing until his punches landed, ultimately knocking out Rakic. He continued pursuing Rakic, pounding him on the ground until the referee stopped the fight. A very wild and exciting fight. Rakic fought very cleanly, technically, and beautifully arranged. On the contrary, Jiří fought wildly, chaotically, and brutally, almost recklessly. But his mental strength shattered Rakic's fighting spirit. And indeed, despite fewer hits, the impact of Procházka's punches was significantly more damaging upon landing, compared to Rakic's numerous strikes that seemed to have little effect on Jiří, despite drawing blood. Jiří Procházka is truly a wild animal. Moving on to former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. The first round belonged to Charles Oliveira. He immediately locked in a very deep and deadly guillotine choke. But amazingly, Arman managed to escape Oliveira's deadly choke, a feat no one had achieved before. Oliveira's best move was thwarted by Arman. That's why the rest of the fight belonged to Arman. The second round was completely dominated by Arman on the ground, with his ground and pound being strong, leaving Oliveira battered and bloody. In the third round, Arman excelled in striking and again dominated on the ground. But at the end of the round, Oliveira managed to lock in the same deep guillotine choke. Yet Arman held on until the final bell. Arman Tsarukyan won by split decision. One judge scored in favor of Charles, while the other two judges awarded the victory to Arman. A very thrilling and suspenseful fight. Arman was indeed more dominant throughout the match. Oliveira only had two standout moments, the guillotine choke in the first round and at the end of the third round. The rest of the fight belonged to Arman. Moving on to the BMF title bout, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Two UFC wild beasts very legendary for their brutality, aggression, and toughness in the octagon. Their fight was truly wild and eagerly anticipated. In the first round, Max found his rhythm. He kept pressuring Gaethje with his striking, and at the end of the second round, Max successfully shattered Gaethje's nose. In the following rounds, Max continued to dominate in almost every aspect. Gaethje's best moment was in the fourth round when he knocked down Max, who managed to survive. After dominating the whole fight, Max completely outclassed Gaethje. It was only Gaethje's mental fortitude that allowed him to keep standing. And unexpectedly, in the last 10 seconds, Max invited Gaethje to engage in a wild brawl, exploding everything in the middle of the octagon. The brutality and aggression in their striking exploded, and Max successfully KO'd Gaethje, causing him to fall in the last second. One of the wildest and most exciting fights ever witnessed. Max Holloway reached his maximum level of performance, dominating for 5 rounds and closing it with a spectacular and brutal 10-second display. Max Holloway truly deserved and earned everything. The $300,000 bonus, the title shot, and more. Similarly, Gaethje deserves a bonus for his toughness but not a title shot. Moving on to the main event, the light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. The fight was expected to be intense but turned out to be brief. Jamahal Hill could only last a few minutes without mounting any significant attack. Alex Pereira KO'd him in the first round with a cold and brutal left hook. He celebrated his victory with the style of the world's #1 TikToker, Happy, as if to say how easy the fight was. Pereira's legendary powerful left hook claimed another victim. Next, it's said that Alex will move up to heavyweight and challenge Aspinall in Brazil. Wow, what did you think of UFC 300? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. That's it for our video today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I bid you farewell until next time.